In a year filled with stay-at-home orders, takeout, and sweatpants, we became pretty great pals with the TV. And we saw a lot of incredible shows come to epic conclusions. So what's on the horizon for the next year? What are some brand spanking new shows that seem like absolute must-watches? We're here to get you amped about a few. I'm Kris Carr, and I want to talk to you about 13 tunes to be on the lookout for in 2021. Before we dive in, I want to give a big ol' shout out to every single one of our donors on Patreon, especially our super nerd sponsors. These heroes have helped us out so much in a year that's been wildly unpredictable, and we can't thank y'all enough. Thank you. If you want to pitch in, head on over to our Patreon page and see if a donation tier works for you. Also, be sure you hit that subscribe button and bell so you're always in the loop on our videos. That way next year we can talk about all these cartoons together. All right, let's get to the shows! Jellystone. Coming from the creator of Chowder and Harvey Beaks, Jellystone will feature a ton of classic Hanna-Barbera icons like Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw McGraw, Snagglepuss, Jabberjaw, Tomcat, and tons more. This is the first Yogi series since 1991's Yo Yogi, and the first production since Hanna-Barbera Studio was closed and its founders passed. We can expect this series to be an absolute love letter to these tunes of yore. And hopefully, it'll give us some updated modern antics with all these characters. Monsters at Work. Set 6 months after the events of Monsters, Inc., Monsters at Work will explore the city's transition to laughter-based energy from fear-based energy. Of course, the show is led by Sully and Mike Wazowski. But in addition to them, we have some new faces, like Tyler Tuskman, a mechanic who idolizes our duo, and Tyler's boss, Fritz, who's voiced by Henry Winkler. I'm mostly excited about more Yeti, and I'm hoping the series will at some point reunite our monsters with Boo. Boondocks for HBOMAX. This is a reboot of the original Cartoon Network series that followed Riley and Huey Freeman as they transitioned from life in the city to life in the suburbs. The show was steeped in conversations about culture clashes and racialized and radicalized identities and stereotypes. So this is probably just what the doctor ordered for 2021. The reboot will kick off with a feature-length special, followed by 12 episodes. Masters of the Universe, Revelation. Alright, now y'all know we here at Nerdwire are massive fans of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. But I gotta say, I am equally amped for this other side of the coin, gritty retelling of He-Man. Kevin Smith is helming this one, and the voice cast is bananas good. Mark Hamill as Skeletor? How can you not want to dive into that? With a mix of celebrities and VO royalty rounding out the rest of the cast, we know the acting is going to be top-notch. The animation company behind the show, Powerhouse, handled Blood of Zeus and Castlevania, so you also know we are going to have some legendary fights and battles. The Ghost and Molly McGee. This Disney show looks delightful and seems like it's totally up anyone's alley who loves Star vs. the Forces of Evil or Owl House. Molly McGee is a bright, happy-go-lucky kid who strives to make the world a better place. Scratch, on the other hand, is a dour, grumpy ghost whose only joy in the afterlife is making others miserable. When a spell backfires, Scratch ends up tethered to Molly, cursed to forever remain in the Optimist's presence. This dynamic sounds super fun. And I'm hoping we get a lot of cool ghosts, ghoul, and witch lore in this one. Marvel's What If. Marvel fans have been chomping at the bit for this one. What If is an anthology series loosely based on the comics of the same name. These stories explore hypothetical situations within the Marvel universe. While I'm not sure I'm completely sold on the cel-shaded animation, I absolutely love that we're getting all the original MCU actors to voice their characters again. This includes the late great Chadwick Boseman reprising his role for one last time as T'Challa. So be sure to have your tissues ready for hearing your king one last time. Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Set after the events of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, The Bad Batch follows members of Clone Force 99 known as the Bad Batch: Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, Hunter, and Echo. These clones work as mercenaries and are exploring their own agency and purpose in the universe. But what I think is really cool here is that we also have Ming-Na Wen reprising her role from Mando as Fennec. Marvel's MODOK. Patton Oswalt as MODOK. That's all I really need to tell you about this to sell it. I mean, MODOK? A Captain America nemesis? The mental/mechanized organism designed only for killing? But the real beauty of the series is that our floating head is struggling with his job and family life. After being removed from AIM, MODOK falls into a deep midlife crisis. And the series will explore that side of both professional villainy and adulthood. Big bonus points! Ben Schwartz will be voicing MODOK's awkward teenage son, Lou. Unicorn Warriors Eternal. Unicorn Warriors Eternal 100% wins for Best New Show title. The series will center on a team of ancient heroes who are working together to keep the world safe from an unforeseen, ominous force. These characters were originally all unicorns, but after being reawoken too early, they find themselves stuck in the bodies of teenagers, with their memories erased and their powers weakened. They now must navigate being teens while saving the world from total destruction. More content from the mind that gifted us with Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, and Clone Wars? Yes, please! Gremlins, Secret of the MOGWAI. A Gremlins animated prequel set in 1920s Shanghai? That's enough to pique my interest. Set to air on HBO in 2021, the series takes us through China with young Sam Wing, Street Thief L, and goodest boy Gizmo, utilizing Chinese folklore to introduce us to new colorful creatures. But will this show be able to top a gremlin in a blender? Oh man, that is what I'm holding out hope for. DEADENDIA. Based on the comic of the same name, DEADENDIA is a fantasy horror comedy about a group of theme park employees who work the haunted house attraction. And it might just be a portal to hell. And if an animated hellmouth isn't enough to get you invested in this one, it's got a magical talking dog too. RUGRATS Reboot. Animaniacs proved that you can do a solid reboot with beloved content, so we are crossing our fingers that this RUGRATS reboot will do the original justice. Nickelodeon is dishing out 26 episodes of the CGI series. Now, that animation choice definitely ruffled some fans' feathers since the original aesthetic of the show was so iconic, and it left many wondering if this meant the series would take other drastic liberties with stories or with characters. I'm holding out hope that this one is just as clever and charming as the original. And I mean, you guys, we all pretty much became Stu Pickles this past year. Maybe a fresh perspective is what we all need. Just letting go of all illusions of control and making pudding. Invincible. I am wildly excited about Invincible. I totally freaked out about this back when we announced it on Nerdwire News. Aw, R.I.P. Nerdwire News. If you haven't read these comics, 100% hit up your local brick and mortar and buy them. Buy them all. They're so good. The story is that of Mark Grayson, an average kid who happens to be the son of the most powerful superhero on the planet, Omni-Man. So when Mark's powers finally manifest after he turns 17, his dad starts showing him the superhero ropes. If you're a fan of The Boys or The Umbrella Academy, trust me, you're gonna be all in for this one. And guys, I am so happy that they chose to go animated with this instead of live action, because I think that means we're gonna be getting some bonkers fights and really visceral scenes. And again, this is a voice cast that is so stellar. We have Steven Yeun as Mark, and none other than J.K. Simmons playing the role of his father. It's gonna be so good! Now, these are just a handful of the shows we can expect from 2021. So be sure to hit me up in the comments with any of the shows you are dying to see next year. And let me know what ones on this list you're really pumped about. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and click to the left to check out more of our cartoon content. Thank you once again to all of our incredible donors on Patreon, and thank you so much for watching. Until 2021, I'll see you, Space Cowboy.